This is the setup for taking the cab off the mini digger. So the bolts are out. I'll just have to see how we get on. Unfortunately that plastic bit appears to be stuck on. That's that bit there. It seems to have been stuck. I can't see any bolts. As a matter of fact, there might be 3. Well, that's it, lifted slightly. This plastic edge doesn't seem to want to come off. I don't know how that comes off. So I can open the back door in a minute. And there's a cable down the inside of the tube. So that goes to the spotlight, so I think I'll just cut that. I can put a joint in it at a later date. Nothing much happening over here. It seems okay. So that's what we'll do. Right, I've cut that wire which goes to the spotlights, which I never use anyway. I can put a joint in. This is now hanging freely, as you can see. So all I need to do now is to get it. I'll rotate the body so the body's at right angles, and then my able assistant, if she restrains the cab, I should be able just to drive neatly forward. We'll see what happens. Okay, bye for now. Well, that's the cab hanging. Well done, cab. Seems alright to let it down to the ground now, where it'll be in the way for a month, I'm sure. And here is the coupe version of the Bobcat 320. Yay! The new coupe version. Really fast, but not very good in a rollover. Ha 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 ha. Coupe version. Anyway, onwards and upwards, as they say. Onwards and upwards. This is the hose that's given me a bit of trouble. It's the one that raises the ram. There's the raises the boom. So it's the boom raise ram. So what I've done is I've made a blank. There's a blank there, and it's actually a 9/16 UNF bolt with a 37.5 degree cone at the end. And these fittings, it turns out, are called SAE JIC SAE JIC 6, and the thread inside it is 9/16 UNF, and it's got a flared bit of hose, metal pipe inside, 37.5 degree flare. So that's what I got the blank off. For some, I think the boom raise hose is always pressurized so that the boom doesn't come down when it's just sitting. Anyway, enough of that. Let's see if I can get this thing fitted. Right, we're off again. The pins are all out of the bracket assembly. Hoses are blanked, and I had to blank off both of the boom rams because I blanked off one and then the other one started piddling. So I managed to get them both blanked off using the same method, a 9/16 UNF bolt with a cone end machined on the lathe. Anyway, I'm going to crawl backwards and see what happens. Thank you. Well, that's the sports model Bobcat 320. Yay! Just need to run it into the shed now and get onto the bracket. Okay, bye. Well, there it is in the shed. Now I can start on the real effort, which is to get this bracket assembly off. And also I may end up boring out that pinhole a bit larger and fitting a bush, but depends if it will fit in the milling machine. They've only got a small milling machine. Anyway, that's it for now. Bye. That's the first bush pulled out. There it is there. That's the old one. It's about 0.5 millimeter oversize. There's the puller bits and spanners and things. So I've got to pull that one out, and I've got to tackle this thing. I'm going to have to weld a disc into that because it needs something to go inside and grip the underneath, and I haven't got anything to do that, I don't think. So anyway, there you go. There's the setup for getting the second bush out. It's moved about half an inch. I just stopped for a little rest for a minute, and then I'll carry on and pull it right out. Okay. This is the setup for taking out the top bush. I welded a solid slug in, badly I have to say, but I've been hauling on it, and it suddenly went crash. So I thought it might be broken, but I did it again. It started to move, but it's very, very tight. There isn't a good seating on top of the platform there, so the bit of tube is not square, I don't think. Anyway, it seems to be moving, so we'll carry on. Cheers. Greetings. That's the top bush out. That's the bottom bush. Pull her in position, ready to start hauling. I might go and get a bit of scaffold pole or something to sit on the end of this bar, because it's very, very tight. Very tight. Much tighter than I expected it to be. Okay, bye. Well, that's the all the bushes removed. 2 from there, and 2 from there. They were a lot tighter than I thought they would be, but they did come out. And the only slight problem I've got is the jib slew hole there is quite badly worn. I might have to try and get that drilled out and bushed to stop the jib from rattling. Anyway, not to worry. That's it for today. Well, the bushes have been chilling out for an hour. There they are, chilling out nicely in the dry ice. Hopefully they'll be nice and cold, and they'll just slip nicely in. Okay. I think I'll have a cup of coffee and I'll have a go at putting them in. Okay, bye. I'm just doing a quick temperature check to see how cold they are. Let's see what sort of temperature I'm getting. If you can see that. 3. A bit colder than that. There we go. Look at that. Minus 45. Minus 47. Minus 48. Minus 49. Minus 50. Minus 50. And still going down. So they obviously are quite cold. The 2 smaller ones. Smaller one. That doesn't appear to be as cold. It's not making good contact. Fairly chilly anyway. Yeah. Minus 40. Right. There we go. Oh, me! I just don't don't know. Where's the... I just don't... I thought I had the... Where's the... I don't know. Jesus Christ. Don't know. I really just don't. I just don't. Don't. How could you be so stupid? Not to have a hammer ready. There we go. There you go. Just don't. Don't. There you go. There's not one thing it's another. Oh. I think that's in. That's in. That, I think, is in. What did I do with the... That's the trouble. I think it's in. I think it's in. By George. I think it's in. Oh, I don't know. It's not one. I don't know. Try and do this one a bit better. Boom. So, got that on there. Oh, there's it up to there. Put that one underneath. On the washer. Oh, that's quite cool. Put on the nuts. I've got the wrong one. What a twat. That's 3. 1, 2, 3. Come here, you. Marvellous. Let's have a look. What's that? Doesn't want to go in now. Well, that is not number 3. I don't know what that is. No, it's not number 3 at all. Couldn't make it up. Couldn't make it up. What a twat. That's better. Oh. Well, that was easy. That was good, that one. Ah, stand up. Ah, there it is. Greaser. I don't know. I think that's in. That is tight. That is not coming out, that one. I don't know. I just don't know. You can hold it. Right, we're off again. Try again. Bastard, that's right. I don't know. Once I get to another. There we go. That's good. That's good. I think that's that. I think that's that. Aye. Aye. There we go. That's the new pin. That's the new pin in position. It's been greased, so maybe tomorrow I'll have a go at putting it all together. Okay, bye bye. Right, I'm just going to run the machine forward to connect it back up to the boom, stick the pins back in, connect up the pipey pipes. As a matter of interest, if you put a rope about there, it's pretty well balanced, so you can easily move it around. And there's the dipper arm. So anyway, job progressing. I'm not going to do much more video, I don't think. I don't want to get my camera oily and greasy. Okay, bye bye for now. Bye bye. Well, that's it all put back together. New bushes in there. So hopefully it won't be quite so rattly. It took me an extraordinarily long length of time to get that pin in, because I was doing it wrong. You should support the boom at the very end there, so that you can lift and lower the boom using the crane, using this little crane here, that thing, to get the pin in the right position. Because although it's only a rotten old digger, it's actually quite tight clearance. It doesn't want to just jump into position. You've got to get it exactly lined up. Anyway, I've got a mammoth cleaning up job to do now, and I've got to put the cab back on, obviously. Not that that's a big deal. It's only 4 bolts for the cab, and that's about it. And I've got to clear up a horrible oily mess here, which came out of some of the pipes when I was trying to get them back together. About half a gallon. What a mess. Anyway, I have to scrape that up and do something with it. Anyway, job nearly done. Okay, thank you, goodbye. Hiya, I'm just going to fix the cable that I cut. So there's the plug, which turns out to be inaccessible. You've got to lift the floorboards. So cutting it was obviously the easiest thing to do. So I'm going to solder it together, and I've got some heat shrink to stick on. And then I'll probably just tape it up, and that'll probably do. Okay, bye. Well, that's the ends soldered and taped together. I was going to shrink wrap them, but I didn't leave enough length. And although the shrink was an inch away from the soldered joint, it still shrank, so I couldn't get it on, so I just taped it off. I just taped it up with black PVC tape. I'll stick some rubber tape over it as well. Not great, but hey, okay. That's it fixed. That's soldered PVC tape, rubber tape, and then another layer of PVC on top of the braiding and everything. I don't use the spotlights, and I don't even know if they've got any bulbs on them anyway, so just for fun really. Alright, just going to have another go at putting the cab on. So there's the cab hanging from the tree with a pull lift. My lovely assistant is going to help it into position, and then I just have to thread that cable, that one there, up through the roll cage. I've taken off all the plastic shields from the connectors, so that makes it a lot smaller, so hopefully it will go up through the hole. The hole at the top's only 15.5mm, so it's going to be tight for the likes of that. That's going to be very tight. But we'll see what happens. Make sure the spotlights are off. Might blow a fuse. Okay, I'm not going to try and video it, by the way. Bye. Anyway, that's the wire in position. Pulled through with a bit of trouble. Can't see a bloody thing up there. Comes out there. And there it goes. Oh dear, what a shame. Anyway, just got to put some bolts in now. And we should be laughing. Well, the roll cage is back in position with a bit of a struggle. I discovered that you really have to undo the hinges from the back. That's these hinges here, because this plastic strip here, ouch, it has to go underneath the edge there, and it's a very tight gap, so it's the easiest thing is to actually just undo the hinges and take it back. And then all I've got to do is stick the bolts in. I'll get the two at the back pretty easily. There's two there, one there, two there. This one at the right hand front might be a problem. I might have to lift the floorboards to get to that. And the one on the left you can get to from the little tool compartment here. So it's just a matter of unlocking the little tool compartment and you can get to the bolt. Hey ho! Another day, another dollar. Okay. Further update: if you want to, if you undo these hinges, undo the bolts, take out the bolts for the hinges, you can take the back door off. But if you do, you can't get the bolts back in because the plastic thing is in the way. That's the wrong way up. It goes that way out. And it's very, very tricky. It's actually only held on with mastic strips. See them there? It's just glued on, that's all. So I'll put it back on with just a single line of polyurethane mastic. The same stuff as you use on windscreens actually. But it's a learning curve, as I say. It's just a learning curve. It's not one thing, it's another. Well, there we are. New pin and bushes fitted in there with a bit of a struggle. There's a few lessons learnt, but hey, job's done. We saved £1,000. I'm sure it wouldn't have been cheap if I'd taken it to the professionals. There's where the thing was glued on, that corner strip. That's about it really. So means I can get on and do some jobs with it. I was frightened to use it because I was concerned that the bush was the pin was pretty badly worn, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. As a matter of interest, if you wanted to do a quick and dirty repair, you could just change the pin and leave the bushes. The bushes were only about 1/3 worn of the wear, 2/3 was on the pin. So if you change the pin, you'd have 2/3 of a repair. And because the pin's very much easier to change than the bushes, that's actually worth considering. Anyway, that's it. Quite a nice day today. That's it. This is the east of Scotland. It's quite a nice day. Thank you. Bye.